Hey, welcome. This is Sig Taylor with Fish Out Loud. Here in a moment, you're going to see some fish catching action. But before that, I just wanted to set up, this is the last Bass Nation. It was out of Black Creek, which everybody ran over to the Choctawhatchee River, Choctawhatchee Bay, down here in the panhandle of Florida. It's awesome. It was a difficult day of fishing, but at the end, I'm going to share some tips with you. So when you run into difficulty fishing, you can try these tips. All right, so stay to the end. Get ready. Here we go.
It's fishing, but it's not fun if you're not catching.
No, I know. Every once in a while, it'd be nice to get bit. I get it. I just got bit. Lost everything. That's the first good bite I've had. So that I don't like when that happens.
We found some crappie earlier.
I found that these fish, when they do eat it, I mean, they chew on it. They're not gonna, just don't let it go right away. So I don't know what I must have. It's always different. It's always different on tournament day.
There.
There he is. It's about time. All right. I got proof. I got my new friends watching me. Got proof I got them. Just got bit, threw back in there, got this nice one. All right, remember, you're just one cast away. Here we go. Well, I got a fish, but it ain't a bass. It ain't even big. I wonder if that's what it was. Well, throwing a spinner bait, trying for bass, and I get one of these things. Look at that. Look at that. You're not a bass, but you're still just one cast away. Whenever you're fishing a river, okay, and there's a lot of river systems. I actually love river fishing, okay. This particular, the Choctawhatchee, we've been getting a lot of rain down here in Florida, and the rivers are filling up. So the Choctawhatchee River itself was completely dirty. I mean, it was, and it was flowing a lot faster than I kind of pre-fished a couple of weeks before that, just to kind of check out the river for my first time. So this is my third time on this river, but we did catch fish pre-fishing. You know, have you ever noticed if you fish tournaments, man, you're catching them pre-fishing, but come tournament day, something happens, okay? Something always happens. So, but in this case, I got one bite the whole day. Actually, I shouldn't say that. As you saw me swing on a fish. I completely think what happened is I swung on that fish, lost my bait, okay, took 2-3 minutes to get back. That fish positioned itself back up to where it was. The moment I threw right back in the same spot, that same fish, I believe, ate it, and I swung it in. Now, I didn't know how big it was until we weighed it in, but it weighed 3 pounds, 0.77, so 3 3/4 pounder. Doesn't look that big, okay? I thought it was maybe a pound less, 2 3/4 pounds, and I was hoping for that even. But I only got one bass bite. The thing about river bass that I find is if you're flipping and strongly recommend that. I'm gonna show you exactly what I was using. But if you're flipping, okay, when that bass eats it, you don't have to set the hook right away, because that bass, river fish, they're gonna eat it. They're not gonna mess around like a lake bass. Sometimes a lake bass, you know, sucks it in, spits it out, sucks it in, spits out. River bass, they gotta survive, man. Then they got all kinds of other stuff they gotta survive with, all right? So I'm gonna show you what I was using, okay? Everything down here in Florida is pretty much black, you know, black and blue, black and purple, just black, okay? I happen to be using Gambler Mega Daddy, and I don't care what color it was. I had black and blue here. I got Back At Ya. Okay, Back At Ya is kind of a black and purplish. And also throwing the Craw Fatty from Power Bait, Gambler. Okay, they're both about 5 inches. And I got one of the baits tied on here. Also, what I'm finding too is I'm swinging on them pretty hard, these fish, and I'm using this Gamakatsu hook. It's kind of a silent thing. Not too many people talk about it, but it's called a skip gap. Okay, right there. I'm gonna try to put an image of it. A skip gap. I'm using a 5/0, and the way it's designed is it doesn't slide down as bad every time you get bit, okay? So I'm using a 5/0 skip gap hook, all right? And I'm gonna actually show you how I set up. And the weight I was using is tungsten, anywhere from a 3/16 to a 1/4. I hope you can see that, because what I do is I tie, actually, when I tie my bait on, I use 2 bobber stops, okay? One down here so the weight doesn't beat up the bait, and then one, I like to get about 2 inches of movement there. Just feel that it flows as it's sinking, okay, up again when you're flipping, all right? And I am flipping, by the way, even though I only got 1 bite, but what I'm doing is I'm flipping current. I'm trying to find other creek channels that are coming into the main river system. And what it does, a lot of times it creates back eddies and things, and those fish like to swim around there. But what I'm doing is I'm casting it onto, a lot of times, the cypress tree and letting it slide down, okay? Onto the cypress tree, letting it slide down. That natural presentation. I do not like to throw it and let it splash, okay? Because you gotta imagine, when those fish, and it doesn't matter where you're fishing at, they're looking up. A bass eyes are always looking up, and they're waiting for something to slide in and that they can grab. And if it comes in naturally, chances are you're gonna catch that fish a lot better than if you splashes and you startle them and they swim off, okay? I hope that helps. I started, because the river was up and we've been getting a lot of rain, I decided to put on a spinnerbait and throw it into some of these back, you know, areas, thinking that these bass have moved up even, you know, into those areas. And here's what I was throwing, but the only thing I caught on that was everything but a bass, okay? So, but you know, I like to have these baits handy just in case, change it up a little bit for my sanity, because man, I must have flipped a million times. And so I hope that helps. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what you see, hey, go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe. I'm gonna be continuing teaching little tips that I've used over the years to catch big fish. And that's what I can't wait to hear from you when you guys catch these big fish, just with a little technique, or if you've changed it up and found that something's working a little better, let me know so I can share it with others too, all right? Guys, remember, you're just one cast away.